here in Nyack, New York. Cablevision Sports proudly presents the Section 1 high school football game of the week. It is the Class A quarterfinals, Yorktown and Nyack. Hello again, everybody. I am Craig Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us. And for the first time this year, we have the playoffs. And for the first time this year, we have some football weather. It is very cold right now, about 40 degrees at game time. It was 70 degrees only a few days ago. And it's a whole different season. The regular season is forgotten, and now it's very simple. You win, you move on, you lose, you go home. Your season is over. I'm joined by my partner, Joe Morris. And Joe, you won a Super Bowl championship with the New York Giants. That means you had to play through a few playoff games. How is it different?
Well, first of all, you start in the off-season. You start lifting weights and running and doing those things to get ready for the regular season. Regular season is at a pace that you can get used to. You have a game each week and you play it, and that doesn't really matter. But in the playoffs, you lose one game and you're out. Mistakes that are made in playoff games are that much more important. So tonight, Yorktown and Nyack can't turn the ball over if they hope to be successful. Nyack is the defending champion. They're coming back. Yorktown is an up-and-coming team that wants to be in the playoffs. So tonight, they're going to have to play at a different level. The speed of the game will be greater. The things that happen in the game will be faster. And everything will happen faster tonight because it is a playoff game.
Now, both these teams have some playoff experience. Yorktown in the 90s, one of the best teams around. They won 2 state titles. This year, they have been an inconsistent team. On Cablevision a couple of weeks ago, we saw them in their high point of the season. They thrashed Portchester 49-28. Last week, the low point of their season, they lost to Mamaroneck. Had they won that game, they would have been a 4 or 5 seed. As it is, they are the 7th seed, Mr. Morris.
Coach Vickers had a problem with this team all year in terms of keeping them consistent all year. What has happened is, in that game 2 weeks ago, when we seen one of the greatest individual accomplishments I've ever seen by Brian Sorhando, we're going to need that type of effort from Yorktown, and we're going to need their offensive line to play well if they're going to be consistent and win the game. If they don't, this could be a very tough game for them.
Now, as far as Nyack goes, all season long, they have had the bullseye on their backs. They won the state title last year. They were ranked #1 coming into this season. The has been gunning for them. Nyack has been up to the challenge. Undefeated again this year. This team is a football factory.
Well, they reload. They changed some parts, and these parts have come in and done a fine job. They've done everything they were asked to do. They've done the first part of it by winning the league championship. Now, what they have to do now is defend that sectional championship. They start tonight against Yorktown.
Now, anytime you have a playoff game, you're going to have great players. That's why you get to the playoffs, because you have great players. No question about it in this game, we have 2 great players. As Joe mentioned, the guy for Yorktown, Brian Sorhando, he leads the section, averaging 14 yards a carry.
Brian's a very exciting player, and folks, if you've not seen him play this year, you're in for a treat tonight. I had a great pleasure of seeing him 2 weeks ago against Portchester do some great things. He needs to have the same type of effort tonight if Yorktown has an opportunity in this ballgame.
In that game against Portchester, 253 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Now for Nyack, they have tons of great players, but their leader, Mr. Versatility, one of the best athletes in Section 1, Nigel Moore.
Nigel's a junior. This guy was All-State as a safety last year. Now he's a great receiver and runner for Nyack. He can do so many things to hurt you. If Yorktown's going to win tonight, they're going to have to control this man offensively and defensively if they want to win this ballgame.
So it is playoff fever in Section 1. Joe is excited. I am excited. We hope that you are excited. We'll have opening kickoff, 4 quarters of action. It now is for keeps. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home. The Section 1 playoffs coming back. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Cablevision Sports.
Community College prepares students for success in the business world. Our graduates find top jobs with major businesses in our region. Here's one employer who discovered that SUNY Rockland graduates have what it takes.
And I have been impressed with the caliber of the nurse that is produced by the nursing at Rockland. So I am very happy to employ here at Helen Hayes any graduate of SUNY Rockland.
Find a career, find yourself at SUNY Rockland Community College.
Right there for Bam. 5 and into the end zone. 95-yard touchdown reception to the 15-10. Robinson leading the way to the 5 touchdown. Going up the middle is going to be easily picked off. And he'll scamper down the sideline. Takes it down. Flag is flying. For the touchdown he's in. What a way to start this game.
Catch it on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Welcome back to McCalman Field, Nyack, New York. Nyack and Yorktown about to kick off the 2001 playoffs. Craig Thomas, Joe Morris, back with you here at Nyack, getting ready for the game. And there you see Coach Sanovica, 12th year, 2 state titles. He is the man in charge of the Yorktown Huskers. And as always, the Morris method. What does Yorktown need to do to win? First of all, Yorktown needs to start strong.
Second one, they need to come out and use technique over size. They're a smaller team, but they're going to have to use their technique, and they're going to have to negate the big size that Nyack has against them.
As you said, number 2 in the Morris method, exactly that, use technique over size.
And lastly, they're going to have to step up to the challenge tonight. They've been challenged by 3 teams that have been superior to them, and they've not stepped up to the challenge. It's the first chance in a playoff game, in a playoff setting, to do that.
And excuse me, Joe, when you talk about stepping up to the challenge, exactly how do you do that?
What you have to do is you have to play your best ball game. We've been toward that all year. Every game that you play has been a practice game getting ready for this game right here. When you're in the playoffs, what you want to do is be able to play your best game so you can win the ball game and move on to the tournament.
Go over to Nyack Huskers, and that coach, also a great coach, Mr. John Castellano. It's amazing that playoff teams always are the teams with the good coaches. 14th year, coming off his first state title. And the Morris method, the keys for Nyack, for the Indians to win. Number 1, stop the big plays.
Well, Brian Fairhandle can create problems for a defense. And what they have to do is take good pursuit angles, take good cutback lane responsibilities, and make sure they know where this guy is at all times and make sure tackles on him.
Number 2, use inside strength.
They're a bigger team. They have some bigger players. They ought to use that to their advantage, take advantage of the smaller team, and realize that Yorktown's had a problem all year, consistent play with their offensive line and defensive line. So take advantage of it with your size.
And number 3, they have to have their players make plays. Luckily for Nyack, they got a lot of players.
They have a lot of players that make plays. They have Evans, they have Nigel Morris, they have Clay. These are guys that can do great things, and what they have to do is step up and play that. Last week, they didn't have that from the players offensively, but they need them to do it this week if they're going to grow and get better as the playoffs go along.
Now, we spoke a little bit about both these coaches. We showed you both these coaches. They are from the same, from the DiMatteo family in Section 1 football, and these 2 guys know each other for 20 years. They are 2 of the best, and they both said, in a way, they're not looking forward to this game because they have to face each other. One of their best friends. These guys talk 2 times, 3 times a week.
Well, what's unique about a friendship like that is you learn from the master, Tony DiMatteo. And if you can see, both coaches are both wearing shorts, which is something probably Tony does, which is why these guys are doing it. Now, Coach Sanovica does have on gloves, so why doesn't he have on long pants?
Well, that is something to be said. Certainly, all the high school coaches think they got to wear shorts in order to show how tough they are. But let's just talk about their greatness. Combined 3 states. Look at that record and how long they've been out there.
And what that just says, they're a molded men. They've done a fine job in the programs they have. You have right now, Coach Cass has a team that's potentially going to be better next year than it is this year in terms of statewide. But, you know, Coach Sanovic is doing a good job at Yorktown, so they're going to be great teams for the years to come.
And both these coaches teach more than just football. They want to make sure they teach their kids lessons as well. So the coin toss getting set to go, and we are set to go. Kickoff, moments away. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. This is Cablevision Sports.
Hello, I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudom. Back in the year 2001, my human predecessors installed LightPath voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudom is able to dominate the market. Thanks, LightPath.
St. Thomas Aquinas College is a fast-growing college in southern Rockland County, serving undergraduate and graduate students from across the region and the world. Resident students live on campus within a short walk of all classrooms. We built Costello Hall, a new arts, science, and technology building, and renovated our NCAA Division II athletic facilities. Led by a distinguished faculty, St. Thomas is a dynamic college, committed to our students with small classes and personal attention. Visit our open house programs or call for information.
Welcome back to the Section 1 Class A quarterfinals. Yorktown and Nyack getting ready to go. Nyack in the home red, they will kick it off. There you see Brian Serhando on the left side of your screen. He is one of the deep men for Yorktown. And Nigel Morris kicks it off, and we are underway in the 2001 playoffs, and Serhando gets it. Going right inside the wedge. Mr. Big Play Serhando takes it out about 20 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for Yorktown at the 29, and there is Matt Sacamano, the senior starter. And Joe, Coach Stanovica says he may not be the best physical quarterback he's had, but he's one of the smartest.
This is because he prepares so well for each game. He does a very good job with that. Also has the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage, which is going to be different for high school kids because he has a chance to get them out of a bad play if they see one possibly coming into a defense.
Yorktown in their road white. They are going from left to right. Nyack in the home red going from right to left. 1st and 10 for Yorktown. Serhando and Drew Lodwick behind Sacamano. Sacamano back to pass. Throws to the wide receiver, Fisher. Fisher is wide open, 14-yard gain. 1st down for Yorktown. They come out throwing. We can take a look at the offensive starter, John O'Sullivan. The fullback, he didn't start at the beginning of the year, has been very good since he got the call. Serhando, Lodwick, Nelson. Nelson switches off with Fisher and Nick DePaula. Mike DePaula, Greg Semmels, Brian Nicholson, Dan Gilsonen, and Greg Olmstead. Gilsonen has been nursing an injury this week. 1st and 10 at the 44. Again, 2 receivers behind Sacamano. Lodwick comes to the near side. O'Sullivan gets the carry, and O'Sullivan with nowhere to go. Nice defensive play by the line of Nyack. They are a big line. Ted Renee and Nick Brega. We can take a look at that defensive line. Will Leone, and it's not Leone, it's Leone. We apologize. We heard from Mr. Leone's mother that it is Will Leone. Brega, Muller LaPointe, one of Joe's favorite players, only 170 pounds, along with Ted Renee and David Zernadie. 2nd and 9. And there you see the linebackers. Serhando gets the ball. And Serhando breaks the tackle. Brian Serhando with a gain of 20 out at the 30-yard line. Joe Morris, we talked about the big play capability of Brian Serhando. You see it right there.
And what you have to do if you're Nyack is you have to make a tackle on him. Brian does an excellent job with this ball. Gets it, cuts it back up inside. Nobody basically touches it until it gets to the secondary.
Nyack's defense has only been giving up 9.2 points a game. They had 2 shutouts this year, so they are not used to giving up many points. 1st and 10 after the big play by Serhando. Lodwick in motion. O'Sullivan up the middle. Runs through the hole, still on his feet. John O'Sullivan showing his stuff. And as he takes it down, we can look at the defensive backfield for Nyack. And this defensive backfield, one of the best in Section 1, led by Nigel Morris, who we talked about is one of the all-state players, 13 all-state last year. He, along with Anthony Evans, Rafael De La Cruz, and John Baez. 2nd and 1, that was a gain of 9. Sacamano back to pass. He's under pressure, gets away, and throws it out of bounds. Juden Pierre-Louis and Ted Renee both thought they had a sack, but great job by Sacamano showing his experience getting away, throwing it away.
One of the things they have to do is they have to contain this guy because he can make plays. And what he did by getting up, being the senior guy, he can't take a sack in that situation because he wants to keep the team going forward. They've gotten off to the fast start they want to get off to.
3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak by Sacamano. Surge by the offensive line, and it looks like he has a first down. It'll be 1st and 10. And Joe, we're seeing a lot of movement by Yorktown before the snap. A lot of different formations. Exactly why are they doing it?
And what they're doing is trying to settle down the Nyack defense. So what they're trying to do is confuse them by formation, by using people to do certain things.
Gets a good push. That's for the first down.
Here we go. Just a straight quarterback sneak, falls behind his guard in the center, and gets the first down. That's the best play in football right now.
1st and 10 at the 16. Yorktown on the first drive of the game. Sorhando gets a sweep to the far side. Brian Sorhando gains about 4 before he is tackled by Anthony Evans. And it looked like Muller LaPointe there. Nigel Morris, you see number 5, the leader, one of the leaders of the defense. Great team speed on this Nyack defense.
Great team speed, but what you're going to have happen is Mr. Galian and Mr. Pierre-Louis are going to make that play. The defensive line has got to take the line people along, but they've got to make that play if they're going to stop Sorhando from making big runs.
That was a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from the 11. Handoff right up the middle. Now Sullivan buries towards the end zone. He is very close. Yorktown, very impressive opening drive.
They've come out tonight, and their offensive line is playing very well. And hopefully, if they can continue to do this, this is going to be a game that we're going to really enjoy tonight.
So 1st and goal from the 1. Yorktown took the ball at their own 30 after the opening kickoff, and after 3 minutes and 15 seconds, they are at the 1-yard line. I guess you have to watch for the quarterback sneak right here. Instead, the handoff, ball is kept by Matt Sacamano, and Sacamano goes into the end zone. Yorktown.
Well, I don't think anybody was expecting this tonight, this early in the game. But Yorktown came out and they played very well. They go for 2 here in this situation, trying to put Nyack behind the 8 ball.
Joe, you are prescient. You are smart as always. Your first Morris method was start strong for Yorktown, and hey, you can't have a much stronger start than this. Go for the 2-point conversion. Sacamano keeps it again on the option. Tries to turn it up, but he is stopped short. Nice tackle by Will Leon, the junior. So Sacamano scores the touchdown. Can't make it on the 2-point conversion, but Yorktown up 6-0.
Yorktown did a great job with that. They went 70 yards against a good defense, ran the ball at them, used their handle a little bit, passed the ball effectively. They've done everything they wanted to do in terms of that. Up front, they got some movement up front on the Nyack front, allow them to get some things going. They can be consistent with that and establish O'Sullivan inside. That can create a presence for them all night where they'll be able to go back to all game long. Then Sorhando's runs will be even more effective. But you have to honor the fullback on every play now.
This Yorktown team 4-2 on the season, and certainly off to a great start. That drive, 8 plays, 70 yards. Sacamano with a 1-yard touchdown run to give Yorktown the lead, 6-0. So Yorktown will kick it off. Nyack, now they'll get the ball for the first time. The Nyack Indians, they are a run-first team, one of the best teams you will see running the football. There you see the deep men, Nigel Morris on the far side, Anthony Evans in the middle. And they're the kickoff team for the Yorktown Huskers. 8:35 remaining in this first quarter, 6-0 Huskers. Robert Falco will do the kicking. It's an end-over-end kick coming to Nigel Morris. Morris going up the far side. Runs into his own man and is put down at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there. Eric Clegg, undefeated as a starter since taking over for last year's State Player of the Year, Ronnie King. And Joe, you like Eric Clegg?
I like him an awful lot. He does a lot of good things. Doesn't force the ball when he doesn't have a play. He makes big plays for this team. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. And running this offense with the people he has, all he has to do is play within himself. Everything is fine.
First and 10 for Nyack. They are a wing T offensive team. Right away, a whistle. A whistle before the first snap. And there you see referee Dave Keller making the call offsides on the defense. And Dave Keller, the referee, he is retiring it this year after over 30 years of refereeing Section 1 sports. So certainly one of the best in the business. And that time an offsides call on Yorktown. So immediately a 1st and 5 opportunity for the Indians. Rafael De La Cruz, the receiver, to the near side. I formation. Anthony Evans gets it going to the far side. Evans goes towards the 40-yard line, close to a first down. We can check out the offensive starters for the Nyack Indians. Juden Pierre-Louis, the sophomore fullback. He's been their main ball carrier, only a sophomore, along with Morris, Evans, De La Cruz, and Leon. The offensive line, Rene Nargi, Nick Braga. He's the rock of the offensive line. And Mondesir. We'll have a measurement for the first down. And Anthony Evans has the first down. Anthony Evans, the senior, he had 2 touchdowns against John Jay, a touchdown in their last game against Scarsdale, and the game that we had on Cablevision against Suffern, 2 touchdowns in that first quarter. First and 10 for Nyack at the 39. Pierre-Louis gets the carry and has absolutely nowhere to go. The big man in the middle of that defense, number 76, Greg Olmstead, makes the play. There you see the defensive starters, Lodwig, Brunel, Gaskin, the linebackers, a sophomore and a junior, and the defensive back, Fisher, a great cover man.
What you see here is a great play by Greg Olmstead, making a play on Juden before he gets going.
2nd and 11. There was some movement on the left side of the line.
Well, Randy made a mistake here, and all he's trying to do is trying to get himself going. That was his guy who made the play before, so he's just trying to make up for it by getting a faster start.
Now, Joe, you'll see that sometimes in the playoff games, right? I mean, sometimes even when you watch the Super Bowl, you see 4 penalties in the first quarter.
And it happens because you have to get the nervousness out of your system. You realize this is a big game. You want to play in it. And Randy just tried to make a play there a little early. But, you know, hey, it's early in the game. Isn't going to hurt him too bad.
2nd and 16 now for Nyack. Clegg running the option to the far side. Pitches to Evans, and Evans fumbles the football. Brian Serhando picks it up. Untouched to the end zone. Brian Serhando with the touchdown, and just like that, who would have thought this? Yorktown with a 2-touchdown advantage.
Well, turnovers are magnified in the playoffs, and this is a great play by Brian Serhando by picking this ball up on an errant pit throw for Eric Clegg. They're going for 2. The opportunity to put themselves up 14-0. The fast start by Yorktown. They've done everything coaches asked of them.
Yorktown with an opportunity to go up 2 touchdowns with 6:57 remaining. Sacamano throws for Fisher. Nice coverage by Rafael De La Cruz, so it stays at 12-0. We talked about Mr. Excitement Serhando. We thought about it offensively, but defensively he comes up with a big play.
Here's what you have is Clegg comes down the line of scrimmage. He's going to option the end. Makes the pitch, but he puts it behind Evans, hits him right in the shoulder. Ball bounces off him. Serhando picks it up, and Nigel Morris can't even make this tackle because the guy already had a 30-yard head start to get to the end zone. and that's just having great speed and able to do some things. This has put Nyack in a situation where they're going to press a little bit now because they're behind by 2 touchdowns.
And this Nyack team hasn't been in this situation in 2 years.
And that's correct, and that changes the complexion of the game. And what you have to do is settle your players down, go back to your set offense, get something going, establish what you're able to do. You can see the Yorktown kids just keeping their motivation, keep going forward, keeping that fast start, and they got to maintain it for the whole game.
The Nyack Indians, as we said, riding a winning streak that dates back to 1999. They were undefeated 12-0 last year. This year, 6-0. They only actually played 5 games. They won 1 via a forfeit, but they have not been in this situation in a long time. Yorktown off to a 12-0 lead with just over 5 minutes gone in this first quarter. Rob Falco will kick off again. Morris and Evans still the deep men. Kicks it to the near side to Morris. Morris fumbles, picks it up, runs right through, makes one man miss. Is tackled by John O'Sullivan at the 38. Nigel Morris almost broke that.
That was a great play, but you know what I've watched and watching Section 1 football this year is when people drop the ball on kickoff, it settles the coverage a bit, and they're able to get and make a good play. He picks the ball up, makes a good play, fires it up. There's his vision, using his vision. Breaks the tackle. If he breaks this tackle, he's still running.
And the quarterback, Matt Sacamano, getting in there on special teams and contributing to the tackle. That's something you don't see in the pros. You don't see it in college. You love to see it in high school football. Everybody participating on special teams. So 1st and 10 for Nyack, down 12-0. Inside handoff to Morris. Morris busts through the middle. Gain of 14. The Nyack crowd comes to life. Tackled by Andre Nelson. 1st down, Indians.
And what do you do if you're Nyack? You go back to your best player. Let him make a play for you. He did it on the kickoff. Now he did it on his first running carry. So what they want to do here is just give a little inside handoff. Nigel Morris, he gets inside. He's trying to make a big play. Covers the ball up. Can't get to the end zone, but what that did is gets the offense going. Gets us moving forward from Nyack's standpoint.
Nyack on the Yorktown side of the 50. 1st and 10 at the 46. Anthony Evans, far side. Evans stopped after a gain of 2. Looks like he may have actually run into his own man. But, Joe, let's talk about the Yorktown defense for a second. When we saw them against Portchester, first half they were great, second half not so great.
What they're doing tonight is this. They bring Olstein in to replace one of the guys up front, and he's doing a good job in terms of what he's doing against the BP play. Second, they're getting more people to the ball, and they're doing a better job of attacking people.
This Yorktown defense allowed 253 yards rushing to Matt Murray of Mamaroneck last week. Clegg back to pass, rolling to the far side. Looks, fires, pass complete. The reception good. Rafael De La Cruz catches it for a 1st down. Clegg throwing, De La Cruz catching.
And what happened is this. He made a great decision waiting to the last minute to a ball that only his receiver could catch. He had good coverage by Brian Fisher, but he couldn't make the play because the ball was in the spot that only the receiver could catch.
1st and 10 at the 32. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Clegg back to pass again. The quick play. What a catch by Nigel Morris.
And that of the year. That's why he's going to be that type of player. Reaches back for a ball that's thrown behind him. If Clegg hits him in stride, that may be a touchdown.
We've talked about it before. Nigel Morris, such a good athlete. He was the point guard on the Section 1 winning.
Ball hits him in the hand. He reaches back, spins around, makes the whirl, and gets and brings the ball in. That's why he's that type of player.
Coach Sanovica, all business on the Yorktown sideline. 1st down for Yorktown on the 18. Excuse me, 1st down for Nyack. Handoff right up the middle to Juden Pierre-Louis. And he gained 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Joe, when we spoke to Coach Sanovica this week, he said that is what we have to do first is stop exactly that play.
If they can stop Pierre-Louis inside, that takes the offense away. You can't do as many passes and do many things, but if your fullback can establish himself, then you have to watch everything else because you have to stop him first.
2nd and 7. De La Cruz to the far side. Option. Evans looking for the corner. Anthony Evans has the corner. Anthony Evans has a touchdown.
Now that time, Craig, you had Clegg make a great, strong pitch, hit Evans in stride. He gets a great block from Nigel Morris, and then run to the end zone.
Just like that, Nyack marches down the field. Number 5, Nigel Morris, a big part of that. And now the Indians with a chance to cut into this lead. 12-6. Sean Brophy, the senior place kicker, 10 of 12 on extra points this season. Nice snap. The kick is good. 12-7 after the touchdown run by Anthony Evans. As you said, good decision by the quarterback, and Anthony Evans knows how to score.
I like that drive. Coach Cass came out, used a lot of different players to do a lot of different things. Established their fullback, ran Nigel Morris, did some things in Anthony Evans, and Clegg made 2 great plays. Here we go on the final play. Comes down, makes the pitch, gets the play, Juden comes inside. And there's Nigel Morris getting a great block on Sehendo, and they're running to the end zone.
And we can look at this block again.
Goes down, goes inside, he gets the block on the linebacker, comes back, and he cuts the guy down. That's the guy who's supposed to make that play. If Nick DiPaolo makes that play on Anthony Edwards, that play's on a touchdown. They got a block from Rafael De La Cruz. They got a block from Juden Pierre-Louis. If you block for each other, you're going to be able to have touchdowns.
That drive, 6 plays, 61 yards, the 15-yard touchdown run, taking 2:37 off the clock. And we told you at the beginning of the game that playoff football is a little different, a little more exciting, and right now we were right for a change. 12-7, 4:20 left in this first quarter. Yorktown will get the ball again after Nyack's first touchdown of the game. Nigel Morris, in addition to everything else, does the kickoff for Nyack. He kicks it deep. Steve Sirhando catches it. Sirhando fumbles. The ball is on the ground. Nyack says they have it. And they do. Nyack football. Now Yorktown with a turnover.
If Nyack can punch this ball in, it takes the game and puts it back on an even keel. And that's what they need to do here. Take advantage of this turnover. Steve Sirhando gets inside his wedge, sees the people coming. Nyack people do a great job coming in and punching the ball out. It's punched out by number Smith. A great job on this play. Number 25.
And there's Silfa Alexander who made the recovery. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. Pierre-Louis gets the ball, and Pierre-Louis is rumbling. Touchdown, Indians! Nyack takes a 13-12 lead.
Coach Cablevision said this week he wanted to stop this guy from getting going. This guy's going to be a future star for Nyack. But Pierre-Louis has just started with the fullback inside. Didn't make the tackle. Your linebackers are not there. And now Nyack is in control of this game because they can kick that 2 point. They're up by 2.
2 touchdowns in 13 seconds. And Nyack takes the lead 13-12. Brophy on for the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So we've seen thus far, Joe, big plays and turnovers. They're always the story in big games.
Well, I think that you see a championship team that was down. And for a second, people might have thought they were in trouble. They came out on offense. They made a great play. Here he is. Pierre-Louis gets the ball inside, makes a move outside. Brian Sehendo misses the tackle. Nelson misses the tackle. He's in the end zone. Somebody that big, that strong, that fast, you can't miss tackle. You got to make that tackle.
Only a sophomore
Pierre-Louis starts both ways. As Coach Cass told us, they knew he was good. They didn't realize he would come as far as he has during the season. He had 3 touchdowns and 95 yards rushing in their big win over Ossining. Had 17 carries for 100 yards against John Jay. So he is quite a player, and his backup quite a player too. We will see Jeff Prevost soon, and he can run the football as well. So Coach Stanovica, in the matter of a minute, goes from leading 12-0 to down 14-12. Still 4 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
We promised action back, and we've given it to you tonight, folks.
Morris kicks off again. End over end. Ball comes back to Steve Serhando. Pauses. Goes down at the 27. It'll be 1st and 10 again for Yorktown.
And what Yorktown has to do is just weather the storm. Get a couple first downs. If they can make another drive like they did before, go 70 to 60 yards on this drive, get a touchdown, it puts them back in control of this ball game. This should be a great ball game, but I want to see what Nyack's going to do on the defense to make an adjustment to what they're doing to it.
1st and 10 for Yorktown. Serhando, sweep to the far side, cuts back inside, makes another cut, gets close to first down yardage. And Joe, that's only a 9-yard, 10-yard game, but that is great running.
That is great running because you're not having somebody in the cutback lane. There's not someone stopping that play. What you had is the people come up and they weren't making sure tackles. He cut back against the grain, somebody missed the tackle, and that's why Steve Serhando is such a great weapon. Just a straight power sweep. Here's Anthony Everett comes up, brings him back inside. The inside people got to make that play. That's no safety. He just made that move on.
2nd and 1. O'Sullivan with nowhere to go.
And there's my man.
Let's talk about your man here. The defensive line for Nyack averages well over 200 pounds. Actually, 223 pounds, and there's Muller LaPointe, 5'8", 175.
This guy's got a motor. He's always there. He's the man who trips up O'Sullivan, doesn't let him get started, and that's why they don't pick up the first down.
So from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 2, that's a loss of a yard. Inside handoff to Drew Lodwick, and Lodwick will be short of the first down. Nice play made by Bradley Gallen.
And Will Leon.
Leon and Gallen, a big story, number 51. He didn't start the year as their starting linebacker, but he has played well, as shown right here.
You know, this young man has made himself a player for this team this year. And there's Will Leon playing strong on the defensive line, keeping people under control.
Coach Stanovica losing what hair he has left in this game. 4th down, looks like a punting situation for Yorktown. John O'Sullivan will do the punting.
Well, you have to watch the fake in this situation, but you don't want to turn the ball over in this part of the field for your defense.
The always dangerous Nigel Morris back to receive for Nyack. Sullivan, a nice kick to the near side. Morris lets it bounce, and it takes a Yorktown bounce to the 27. The ball down there by Yorktown by number 3, Joe Crisco, the junior. So 1st and 10 again for Nyack. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in this first quarter.
Well, we've seen a lot of action. Nyack's done a lot of things with their offense to change some different things in what you're seeing. Coach Stanovica from Yorktown has moved his defensive lineman at the last second to try to create a mismatch problem for his people. If he can continue to do that, that may cause some confusion in the blocking pattern for Nyack.
1st and 10. Handoff to Anthony Evans, going to the far side. He tries for the corner, and he has the corner. Evans showing the speed. He's tackled by Brian Fisher after a gain of 15 yards. That is pure speed.
That is pure speed. That is Steve Serhando's speed. Anthony Evans is the same type of guy. He can go the distance of any play that he gets outside like this. And all he does is use his great speed to get outside, and he's just running. And that's what he tries to do. He tries to punish the tacklers as he's doing this too.
Evans a little guy, but he sure can run the football. Handoff inside. Pierre-Louis breaking tackles. First down, Nyack, but we have the penalty flag on the play. We'll see if that comes back.
Well, that hurts. If it's a 15-yard, it's really going to hurt Yorktown in this situation. Because you can't make the tackle on the man. You can't face mask him to bring him down. You've got to bring him down with a good, solid tackle.
So face mask penalty, a packed house here at McCalman Field. A lot of fans from Yorktown came over the bridge tonight to this game, and as always, when Nyack plays a Friday night game under the lights, there are a lot of fans. Doesn't matter if it's warm, if it's cold, if it's rain, snow, they're here supporting their Indians. First and 10, Nyack at the 38-yard line. Inside handoff to Nigel Morris. Morris gains 3. Nice tackle by number 69, Dan Gilson in the junior. He has been hobbling this week, a little injured, but obviously if you can, you're going to play in a game like this, and he makes the play.
Nigel gets the ball. Here's Leeson coming over. Just comes over from his defensive tackle spot and makes the play on Nigel before Nigel gets going. Great tackle.
2nd and 8. They gave Nigel Morris 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Clegg throws for Morris. Morris makes the catch. That play worked once, worked again. A 3-step drop, quick firing. First down.
And the reason why Clegg can make that play, Yorktown linebackers are playing so close to the line of scrimmage to stop the run. And Clegg is just stepping back, taking a step away from the back, and putting the ball up to Morris. Morris is making great catches. And this guy is reaching up for the ball, not afraid to get a hit. He's not alligator arm in any way, shape, or form.
First and 10 for Nyack. Evans in motion. Inside handoff to Pierre-Louis. And he rumbles for 8 or 9 yards, close to first down yardage.
You got to make a decision right here. You got to decide if you're going to take away that, or if you're going to play on the outside and take away Evans and Nigel Morris. If you're going to stop them inside, you're going to have to play the linebackers in tight. Then you're going to be subject to that pass all game long.
The clock running down on this first quarter. Doesn't look like Nyack will run another play. And that is the end of the first quarter, and what a first quarter it has been. Yorktown jumped out to a 12-0 lead, but Nyack has responded. And at the end of one, Nyack 14, Yorktown 12. You're watching the Section 1 playoffs on Cablevision Sports.
When it's time to cast your vote, do you find it hard to put a face to a name, let alone know what each candidate stands for on the issues? Cablevision presents Meet the Candidates, a special edition of Meet the Leaders, where each candidate has the opportunity to tell you about themselves and their candidacy. Tune in to get the information you need to make an informed decision come Election Day. You won't want to miss our special edition of Meet the Candidates all month long.
Watch it on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Throughout history, newspapers have been the reliable source of information essential to public knowledge. At the Journal News, our mission is to report timely, accurate, and important news and information to our readers. As our coverage continues during this crucial period, never has our mission been more vital. Knowledge is the foundation of freedom.
The second quarter starting here at McCalman Field in the Section 1 Class A quarterfinals. Nyack on top of Yorktown 14-12. It is 2nd and 1 for the Indians as we start the second quarter, going from left to right. Handoff to the far side to Morris. Morris tries to cut inside. breaks off one tackle before he is finally fallen on by Lance Gaskin. And Joe, you were talking in between quarters about the Yorktown defense.
Yorktown's defense is using more players to keep the defense fresh. Bringing in more players that play a little offense for them, bringing players who are playing backup roles for them. And they're playing because they want to keep their players fresh on the defense because they're going to be facing this team all night.
Morris gains 6. It is now 1st and goal for Nyack at the 5-yard line. Clegg, play action fake. He's under pressure, still holding the ball, and he is sacked by Drew Lodwick.
That's a big play for Yorktown. If you're a senior quarterback, what you do there, throw the ball out of the end zone. Then you don't take a sack, and you're not 1st and 20.
Lodwick and Greg Semmel combine on this sack.
Clegg right now has got to get rid of the ball. And what he does is hold it too long, then he tackles. He's got to throw the ball out of the end zone because that's what you want to do. Keep your team 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line as opposed to 25.
That a loss of 13 out is 2nd and goal from the 18. Clegg on the option to the near side. Pitch to Morris behind the line of scrimmage, and he has absolutely nowhere to go. That is exactly how you defend an option play. The tackle made by DePaula and Sorhando.
Well, I think they would have been better to run the inside play this time. What they're trying to do is get outside to the short side of the field. And what happens is, Santa Baker comes out, Anthony Santa Baker comes out, makes a good play on Nigel Morris, and the rest of the defense gets there and makes the tackle.
That shows that sometimes it's not the guy who makes the tackle who made the good play. Anthony Santavica forced him inside where the rest of his compadres were waiting. 3rd and goal from the 22. Clegg back to pass. Has time. Fires to Will Leone in the middle. Leone pulling his way. It took five Yorktown players, but they finally got him down short of the goal line. It'll be 4th and goal decision time for Nyack.
Not much of a decision. You're going to kick the field goal there. Here, Clegg gets back, makes a good decision, puts it to his big tight end. Leone gets the ball, turns around, he turns for the goal line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays before he finally get him down.
Sean Brophy comes out to kick a field goal. He was 2 of 3 this season, his long 20 yards. Good snap. The kick is up. That kick is very good. That would have been good from 35 yards. So Yorktown takes a 17-12 lead. But Joe, even though that's points on the board, Yorktown's defense has to feel good.
It's a moral victory to stop them from getting 7 because they were down 1st and 10 from the 5. Clegg makes them an error by taking the sack. Like what I see what Nyack's doing, diversifying their offense. But I also like what Yorktown's doing on defense. They're making them earn everything they get. They're playing, they're using a lot of players, they're using movement, and they're doing a good job right now. It's a great team.
The Yorktown Huskers 4-2 on this season. Last year they were 8-2 and didn't get into the playoffs. And that's one of the big reasons why Class A this year has an 18 playoff instead of a 14 playoff, and you are never too young to enjoy popcorn and enjoy Section 1 football. And you have to be impressed with the cheerleaders also because they are doing their best in cold weather.
Well, you have to come out and be cheerleaders. If you want to be tough, you got to do it in here. Got to take off those tops, though. They got to work it out, get warmed up.
Nigel Morris kicking off. End over end kick. This time coming to Brian Sorhando at the 10. Sorhando with a head of steam, and he is flattened. Big tackle by number 33, G.L. Jameson. Jameson not even on the roster. T.J. Jameson, excuse me, just became eligible a few weeks ago, and that time he laid the wood to Mr. Sorhando. We take this time to let you know that this copyrighted telecast is produced by authority of CSC Holdings and is intended solely for the non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of CSC Holdings is strictly prohibited. Back to the game. 1st and 10. Handoff to O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan breaking tackles. John O'Sullivan, he was the backup for the first 3 weeks of the season, then started against Roosevelt at 132 yards.
He's doing a good job in there. What he does, he creates a situation where he's a big presence. He makes people have to tackle him, which will free Brian Serhendo and Jude Ludwig to make big plays with this team.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Sacramento gives to Serhendo to the far side. Serhendo gains a couple. That will be enough for a first down.
What you see Nyack doing now is containing what Brian's trying to do. Trying to stop him from getting outside, forcing him back inside where more people are there to make the play. And they're in their pursuit angles and they're making the tackles.
Yorktown's offense had the great drive to start the game. 70 yards, took 3 minutes off the clock. Matt Sacramento scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. Their second touchdown came via a fumble return by Brian Serhendo. 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle. Gain of about 3, 2nd and 7. Joe, you talked at the top about Sacramento making changes at the line. He takes a long time up there viewing the defense.
And what he's going to do is view the defense and try to see if there's a better play within their system that would work better against teams. I think they need to come out and throw the pass a little bit more. Use Brian Fisher. Use Nelson outside to throw the ball a little bit more. They've done a good job with that.
First play of the game was a quick out to Fisher for a gain of 14. John O'Sullivan comes off the field limping. And backup Matt Cardillo in the game. Drew Lodwick with the carry, looking for running room, and he has none.
And there's my man, Muller Laporte, making another play.
Muller Lapointe got him low. Will Leone came in and got him high. End result, loss of yardage. It'll be 3rd down.
That play was set up, though, by the senior safety coming up, forced the play to stay inside. There's Anthony Edwards coming himself. There's Muller Laporte, and there's Will Leone coming from the inside. Leone, please.
Yes. Will Leone with the play. 3rd and 11. Under 7 minutes remaining in this second quarter. 17-12, Nyack with the lead. Sacramento fakes. He's keeping it on a quarterback draw. Dives towards the first down, but he will be 3 or 4 yards short. It'll be 4th down.
Sacramento can put pressure on this defense if he gets outside. So they're going to have to contain him like they're going to have to do. Sacramento gets outside. He's going to run this ball. He has great running ability. He can throw the ball. He is a dangerous weapon for Yorktown.
John O'Sullivan comes back onto the field to do the punting on this 4th and 3. 6:15 and counting. Nigel Morris goes back deep for the Indians. The wind has picked up a little bit, blowing across the field. O'Sullivan. Spiral kick. Morris catches it at the 25 and is a fair catch. So it'll be 1st down and 10, Nyack at the 25. It's the first weekend of the playoffs this weekend. We will be with you for the next weekend of the playoffs. Next weekend, the playoff matchups come out on Sunday. We will have games for you. The game of the week next Saturday and Sunday at 7 o'clock. And you can catch highlights of this game, of next week's game, of all the sports, all the highlights as we move towards the playoffs. Sports Scene, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Channel 70 in Rockland County, Channel 70 in Northern Westchester. Sports Scene, it's local sports that matter to you. 1st and 10 at the 25 for Nyack. Morris gets it on the quick reverse. Cuts inside, and Nigel Morris, it looked like he would be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Instead, it's a gain of 13.
Yorktown had to play defense perfectly. John O'Sullivan was there to make the play. He stopped on a dime, makes the cutback. Here he goes. John O'Sullivan's there to make the play. He cuts back against the grain, finds an opening, and almost takes this to the house. He gets a block by Will Leone there. He goes to the house.
We've seen Morris on a kickoff return. We've seen Morris with 2 great catches, and he can run the ball also. That's good for a first down, so now Nyack has it 1st and 10 at the 38. Morris and Pierre-Louis behind Clay. Handoff to Pierre-Louis, going to the far side. Pierre-Louis breaks tackles, gains 9. And Joe, there are no running backs of Nyack in the top 20 in Section 1. If they wanted to, Pierre-Louis could be there, Morris could be there, but Coach Castellano spreads it out.
And what he wants to do is have weapons in all of his running backs. For all of them are dangerous, they can do some great things. We haven't seen Evans turn himself loose just yet.
2nd and 1, gain of 9. Inside handoff to Pierre-Louis. This time he is stopped after he gets to the first down, and we talk about the skill players, but the offensive line, averaging 240 pounds, they do a lot of the dirty work for Nyack.
They make Evans, they make Nigel Morris, and they make Pierre-Louis look very good. Look at the way they clean people out. They're pushing the Yorktown front off the ball, which is why they can run the ball effectively. And they're also pass protecting for Clay.
That run good enough for a first down. 1st and 10 at the Nyack 49. Inside reverse to Morris. Gains 4 yards. Tackle made by number 27, the junior Sean Matranti. And it's great. Every time Morris gets the ball, you think he could go all the way. He's that excited.
He's that exciting. And, then you have Evans, and you have Pierre-Louis. So it's those 3 guys, and you don't need a guy in the top 10 if you got 3 guys that can always go to the house every time they catch the ball.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Clegg running the option to the near side. Pitches. Gain of 1 yard, if anything. Nice play that time by the safety, Brian Serhando, coming up.
And why they're running the option to the short side of the field is there's an extra defender on this side for Sullivan being out here. That'd be one person they could not block if they were coming to the strong side of the field.
So 3rd and 6. Big opportunity for the Yorktown defense. Exactly 4 minutes left in this 2nd quarter. 17-12, Nyack in the lead. We have a timeout called by the Indians. And as we talked about at the top, Joe, as scary as it may be, Nyack will probably be a better team next year. We can take a look. It really is amazing, and it speaks to what a good coach Castellano is. Of their 22 starters, look at that, only 6 are seniors.
They're going to be a great team next year, and they're going to be a great team year out there. He keeps doing the things he's doing. He develops young talent to a level, and they play at a level that is very high. Each year, these kids are getting experience playing in the state championship year each year, and that will build experience and builds depth to your team. You have players that come out and do a great job for you because they want to. Think about their starting people now. The first game we did here, the starting 2 linebackers were Pierre-Louis and Sylvian Alexander. We have a new linebacker starting there because he made a commitment to Coach Cass's system, and now he's starting. But Sylvian, he was the guy who made the fumble recovery. So they never lose sight of what's important.
The Nyack Indians, they haven't lost in this century. One of the few teams undefeated in the 21st century. Their last loss coming in 1999.
This is a great timeout because this may be a situation where you have 2 downs to get this first down.
Exactly 4 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter on a chilly night. 3rd and 5. Confusion in the backfield and a big play by the Yorktown defense. Clegg ran in to Pierre-Louis, and Lance Gaskin makes the tackle from 3rd and 5 to 4th and 7.
Well, Gaskin comes inside, and there he is there. Comes in almost unblocked. Somebody missed an assignment up front, and that's why it happened. Lance Gaskin did a great play. Great job on that play.
When we spoke to Coach Stanovica. He says that Gaskin is the playmaker on that defensive line, and he made a play right there. Eric Clegg also does the punting, end over end to Brian Serhando, but he will just let it roll. Will Leone downs it at the 20-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for Yorktown. 3:12 to go. And Joe, Yorktown's offense has not been able to do much since that initial drive.
Well, what they have to do is they have to come out and they have to confuse the Nyack defense a little bit more. Throw the ball like they did. Sacramonto's a good quarterback. He makes good decisions, puts the ball in places where his receivers can catch the ball. And they have to use them to break contain, to get outside the Nyack defense, to create some matchup problems. And if he breaks contain, what does the secondary do? Do they come up and make the play, or do they cover the receivers?
3 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in this second quarter. The Class A playoff quarterfinal. Sacramento gives to Serhando, running to the far side. He cuts inside, cuts outside, spins. Is tackled
Rafael De La Cruz.
by Rafael De La Cruz.
And Rafael just holds his ground out there, waits for the play to come to him. They force him back inside again. He has to shuffle a step, and there's Rafael De La Cruz. And there is Mr. Gallen coming in, cleaning up on the play too.
Good hustle by Bradley Gallen. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Sacramento looks like he's checking off at the line of scrimmage. Handoff right up the gut. 1st down, Yorktown.
And what he's doing is recognizing what the front is for Nyack. He's calling a play that better suits the play that was called in the huddle.
Matt Cardillo, the backup fullback, with that carry. He and O'Sullivan share time. There you see the time clicking down in the second quarter. 1st and 10, and Cardillo gets the handoff and immediately gets hit by Muller, LaPointe, and Anthony Evans. That play loses yards.
Well, Muller beats his man, but I think Evans is actually coming on a blitz this time, which allows them to make the play in the backfield. Now that will cause them. Here's the blitz by Evans. There's Muller, LaPointe coming inside. He just beats the man across his face. That's why that guy has a great motor, and he keeps coming all game long.
2nd and 12. Sacramento back to pass. He has time, looks for Fisher. The pass is complete. 1st down, Nyack. Nice throw, nice catch. Nigel Morris on the coverage, but Brian Fisher has a 1st down.
Brian Fisher does a good job for these guys. Nelson would do a good job for him. Ludwig's out there. But Sacramento gets outside, creates some pressure. They're not getting enough rush pressure from the defense from Nyack. They've got to get pressure on him. Don't let them have that much time. The secondary sitting ducks when that happens.
1st and 10, 2 receivers to the far side. Sacramento gives it to O'Sullivan right up the middle. Only a gain of 1. It is 2nd down and 9. Timeout called by Yorktown with 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining in this second quarter.
Well, it's kind of conservative play on 1st down. You got to do a little bit more. The offense, Stanovica getting outside, was able to create a big play for him. Nyack has got to get more pressure up in front of him and make him stay in the pocket. From the standpoint of Yorktown, you have a chance to make a play here. You got a minute and 19 seconds. You're down by 5 on the road, and nobody expected this of you. You're playing good defense. You're doing great on offense, but now you just got to make a play.
That's a very good point, Joe. No one expected this. The favorite in this game, obviously Nyack. They are the number 1 ranked team. They're undefeated. They are at home. It is a Friday night. The Yorktown kids have to have confidence, though, right now.
And what's happening to the Yorktown kids is this. They started to believe in the first quarter. Second quarter's come. They played this Titan up close and personal, but most people in the stands are winning. When is Nyack going to pick it up and blow this team out? It might not happen if Yorktown keeps playing the way they are.
2nd and 9. 1:19 remaining in this second quarter. Fisher wide to the near side. Lodwick wide to the far side. Sacramento back to pass. Looking for the screen pass. He's under pressure. Cuts it upfield. great play by Matt Sacamano. He's tackled by Nigel Morris after a gain of 7.
Well, this is what happened on this play. This was a screenplay set up for Brian Ferhendo. He couldn't make the play because it was covered. He puts the ball down, senior quarterback makes the big play himself. Gets him blocked by his teammates. That's just a great play by a senior quarterback. He goes back. He's looking for the little screen. He's covered by the linebacker. There he comes inside, makes a good play, gets a block, picks up the first down.
2nd and 1. Quick screen pass to Lodwick. Lodwick has a first down. Down at the 37. Yorktown going with a little bit of a hurry-up offense as we are now below 1 minute. There is 55 seconds and counting left in this first half. Yorktown quickly coming to the line of scrimmage. Sacamano back to pass again. Going deep for Fisher, and the pass is intercepted by Nigel Morris. Morris is at the 10. He is tackled at the 25-yard line. Nigel Morris playing center field back there, makes the interception. Sacamano threw it up. Morris made the play.
I love the aggressiveness, but here's the thing. You predetermine where you're going to throw that ball even before he got back there. He threw it up to Brian Fisher, but he just threw it in the coverage. Nigel Morris is back there playing center field, making the catch. They turned the ball over. Had a great drive going, and a better conceived pass would have been successful if they would have not just thrown it up.
Morris has made huge defensive plays all year long. He had the big, he knocked away the 2-point conversion in the Austin game to ensure that Nyack escaped with a 27-25 lead. Third team All-State last year, and certainly on his way to a great season and postseason this year. Nyack will just sit on the ball. They down it. They may have to run one more play, but we are under 10 seconds remaining in this first half. And that will be the last play of the first half. So after one half, in the Class A quarterfinals, it has been a great first half. Yorktown came out on fire. Now, Nyack responds, and Nigel Morris keeps it as a 17-12 game. At halftime, it is Nyack 17, Yorktown 12. We'll be back right after this.
Great bam. 5 and into the end zone. 95-yard touchdown reception to the 15-10. Robinson leading the way to the 5 touchdown. Going up the middle is going to be easily picked off. And he'll hammer down the sideline. Safe and foul. Flag is flying. For the touchdown he did. What a way to start this game.
Catch it on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Throughout history, newspapers have been the reliable source of information essential to public knowledge. At the Journal News, our mission is to report timely, accurate, and important news and information to our readers. As our coverage continues during this crucial period, never has our mission been more vital. Knowledge is the foundation of freedom.
Think about your hometown, the place we want to be. We're living and we're learning in our community. Cablevision brings you a place we call home. TV that's close to home. From all the local ball games to help it keep us strong. We're keeping it together. It's how we get along. Cablevision brings you a place we call home. TV that's close to home.
We are at halftime here at Nyack High School. The cheerleaders are on the field doing their part. 17-12, Nyack in the lead at halftime. It has been a very exciting first half. Craig Thomas back with you here at halftime. We'll have the halftime stats, some highlights of the first half in just a moment. But first, as always, it is this time of the show where we bring you the sports scene close-up. And it's very fitting this week because we talked about the fact that both these coaches, Coach Castellano and Coach Sanavicas, are disciples of Coach DiMatteo, who used to coach at Roosevelt. Well, now Coach DiMatteo coaches at Somers, and he's lucky enough to coach his son, Anthony. It's a very special story about a bond between a father and son and coach and player. Take a look.
It won't surprise you that Anthony DiMatteo played football for his father at Somers. After all, Tony is the winningest coach in Section 1 history, and as Anthony says, football has been a part of life since he was born.
All right, good job. Help him out. There's no in between. The highs are higher and the lows are lower. So when things don't go right, it's just devastating. And certainly when things are going well, it's even more exhilarating than normal.
On the field, he yells, you know, he picks on me sometimes on his son, and I have to learn to deal with that.
It might surprise you Anthony is playing football at all, because he was born with only one hand. But to Tony and Anthony, it's not a surprise at all.
And seeing everyone else with 2 hands and me with one makes me feel like I have to work twice as hard, so I did.
We never use the arm, we don't let anyone else use the arm, as an excuse in terms of what he has to accomplish in his life.
I've never ever made an excuse for that. There was never an excuse. He never let it be. I mean, I found ways to do, I can do anything and everything anyone else can, and we found ways to overcome everything. So we've never even made that an issue.
When Anthony is on the field as a starting receiver for the Tuskers, his job is to get the job done. Take this year's homecoming game.
He was wide open for a pass and he dropped the pass.
It was never because I won hands, because I tried to run before I caught the ball.
Someone on the side, Anthony's just the wrong way with his hand. And then a couple of the kids, he just dropped it. He always catches all of them in practice.
So next play I was pretty upset.
We ran a play where he had to box someone.
I took it out on that linebacker.
Just laid the kid out. So that was normal.
Games and practice allow for some extra father-son bonding, but it also shows Anthony a side of his father that he never knew existed.
Anthony tells some of the kids how I am at home. They don't believe it. That I'm a softie, that he can get over and he can get away with things. I'm that kind of a dad, I guess. And they just like him. They said, no way. They can't believe it.
He never yells at home. I've never heard the man yell at home. On the field, all he does is yell at us.
I'm trying to give you every advantage possible. Trying to give it to you. And you just don't listen.
So it's just so much different. I can't explain why. I mean, maybe he could.
Actually, I'm second in command when I go home. Maybe that's part of the reason, too. My wife runs the show. When I go home, I'm a totally different person.
As much as Coach DiMatteo might change when he's at home, he's always, Coach DiMatteo.
Where I get the joy or I become more upset is when I'm home alone and I look at the film and I see that play that he did so well, and I might even, start crying. Or if he did something really bad, I hurt inside for him.
I'll be in another room playing PlayStation, all of a sudden he's like, Anthony, come here. They'll come in and go, look what you did wrong. How you can't do that. And then sometimes they'll call me in and say, look what you did right.
A great story, very uplifting, very inspirational story. Obviously, Coach DiMatteo, Anthony DiMatteo, just a fantastic, fantastic job he's doing, making himself a part of the team. Joe Morris is back with me, and Joe, we'll talk about the first half in a minute, but just talking about Coach DiMatteo, how much does it make a difference? This guy has had an impact on so many other coaches, obviously, too, right here.
Well, like Miami, Ohio is a cradle of coaches out in the Midwest, for coaches out there. Tony DiMatteo in Section 1 has been the father of this great section, great coaches. 2 of his disciples are on the field tonight, and they have great teams, and they're playing a great game. That's why Tony DiMatteo is so important to Section 1 football.
Well, Joe and I will be back to talk things over, show you some highlights of the first half. We'll be back right after this. It has been a great playoff game thus far. It'll probably be a great second half, too.
I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudom. Back in the year 2001, my human predecessors installed LightPath voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudom is able to dominate the market. Thanks, LightPath.
Throughout history, newspapers have been the reliable source of information essential to public knowledge. At the Journal News, our mission is to report timely, accurate, and important news and information to our readers. As our coverage continues during this crucial period, never has our mission been more vital. Knowledge is the foundation of freedom.
We are at halftime in the Section 1 high school football playoffs. Nyack in front of Yorktown, 17-12. Hello again, everybody. Craig Thomas, Joe Morris with you. And Joe, you talked at the beginning of the game that playoff football is different. Great first half.
Great first half. Too many turnovers if you're Yorktown. You got to make more big plays. And you can't turn the ball over at the end of the half when you have a chance to score.
We can take a look at the first half highlights. There were some great plays, and Yorktown early on, the first drive of the game, they came right down the field and made the most of their first opportunity. This team was the underdog. They thought that they could score on Nyack if they ran the ball well, and in their first drive, they did just that. Matt Sacamano taking it in for the touchdown.
Well, what we have is this. They came out and they started out very strong. Matt Sacamano follows his fullback behind the line of scrimmage, gets into the end zone. They started fast, did exactly what they wanted to do. On offense, defensively came out when they stopped Nyack the first drive. They did everything they wanted to do by starting fast. They did that.
And as always in big games, big plays make the difference. The very first drive for the Nyack Indians, a fumble directly leading to a touchdown. Brian Serhando scores, and just like that, it's 12-0.
Well, this is magnified by Clayton making a bad pitch. Two Edwards hits him on the shoulder. Can't make the play. Serhando picks the ball up. He starts running. I don't think Nigel Morris can make this play because the guy had a 20-yard head start on him.
So Yorktown takes a 12-0 lead. The Huskers surprised the Nyack Indians. After only 4 minutes, it was 12-0. Nyack probably hasn't been down like that since 1999, since they've won 21 games in a row. But Nyack, like a championship team, comes back. They come down the field, and Anthony Evans, their senior leader, scores their first touchdown of the game.
And when he does, he gets great blocks by three people. Pierre Louis, Nigel Morris, and Williams Leon gets blocks for him that allows him to get to the end zone untouched. And when you can do that, what you're doing is sending a message to Yorktown that this is going to be a ball game. You're going to have to fight all day if you're going to beat them.
And the very next play, the ensuing kickoff, now Yorktown makes its first mistake. The sophomore Steve Serhando with a fumble, and again, turnovers so critical.
And they're critical because here, Sylvian Alexander makes a great play to recover this ball, and then it'll allow Nyack to go back on offense and make another big play and put themselves in control of this game.
The very next play, Judy Pierre-Louis scored on a 25-yard touchdown, and that gave Nyack a 14-12 lead. They added a field goal, Sean Brophy did, making it 17-12. Yorktown's defense played pretty strong, and Yorktown had the final drive of the first half. Late in the second quarter, an opportunity to get close and maybe take the lead, but Matt Sacamano on a second down from about the 35-yard line, interception.
Matt drops back and just predetermines he's going to throw the ball up in the air to an area. He's thrown it against the best defensive player in Section 1. Why would you want to do that? They had a great drive going. They had a couple more plays they could have ran. They could have went to the other side of the field, threw the ball on that side of the field, and had a chance to make a play and have a chance to go in maybe a little closer, maybe 15-17. And that makes Yorktown's halftime a lot better. Now they're down by 5. And Nyack's going to get the ball in the second half. They're going to start out, and they're going to try. You got to see if you can stop them now. And that's really disheartening from the standpoint of how well this team has played to be down by 5 when they had a chance to be down by just 2.
We can take a look at the halftime stats, and they really show how even this first half has been, Joe Morris.
Well, you can look at these and you can really see that Yorktown come out and did a great job. We expected this from Nyack, but nobody expected Yorktown to be this close right now. But hey, the second half's coming around. It's going to be a great game.
17-12 right now, very close at halftime. And don't forget, there is much more than just football on Cablevision Sports. You can catch these sports teams each and every week. Whenever you want to watch it, you can watch it Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Highlights of this game, highlights of all the playoffs, field hockey, boys soccer, girls soccer, volleyball. It is playoff time in Section 1. And the next game we have more Section 1 playoff action next Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock. Check your Cablevision local programming channel. Channel 70 in northern Westchester, Channel 70 in Rockland. So please check out the best of Section 1 sports. Joe, as we start the second half, as you said, the Nyack Indians will get the ball. What is your one key for both teams?
Well, from the Nyack standpoint, you just got to keep doing the things you've been doing all game. From the Yorktown stand, you cannot have any more turnovers. You've got to make big plays, but no more turnovers. 3 is too much if you're going to beat a championship team.
In the NFL, they always talk about 3 turnovers being the magic number. It's very difficult to win any game if you turn the ball over 3 times. So Yorktown will kick off to open the second half. Nigel Morris gets it at his own 15. Morris has a hold to the near side. Nigel Morris is at the 50. Matt Sacamano makes the tackle at the Yorktown 43-yard line right off the bat. Big play by Nigel Morris.
Well, what you've seen there is Nyack coming out and they're setting the tone of the game. They want to make sure they know Yorktown, this is going to be a very difficult task. But from Yorktown's standpoint, you have one of your best athletes, Matt Sacamano, coming out and making a tackle on this play. Nigel makes a great run, but here's Sacamano coming in, playing his safety on the kickoff team, making a tackle. Coach Stanovic is using all his players, his best players, to play this game because he wants to win this ball game.
Morris had 7 carries for 36 yards and 2 catches for 31 yards in that first half. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Handoff right up the gut to Pierre Louis. Pierre Louis still on his feet. Looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Instead, he gains 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Great leg drive, kept spinning, making plays. You want to make these guys actually tackle him.
Pierre Louis, the leading rusher in the first half for Nyack. 59 yards and a touchdown on 8 carries. It was a 28-yard touchdown run. They give him 5, 2nd and 5. The temperature in the low 40s and the wind has picked up dramatically. Pierre Louis gets the handoff again. 1st down, Nyack. That's a gain of 7.
Well, what's happening is they're coming out and they've established their fullback. Their star players came out and made a big kickoff return, and they're bringing the ball to him. Pierre Louis just running with power. We haven't seen Turbo yet, but we will see him later, hopefully. But they're doing a great job with their offensive line, allowing this young man to get going.
The offensive line of Nyack, Mondesir, Palazzo, Brega, Nargi, Ted Rene, and Willie Owen, the tight end. Average weight, 240 pounds. Only 2 of them are seniors. 1st and 10, inside the Yorktown 30. Evans this time. Absolutely nowhere to go, but he breaks the tackle, runs around the corner. Anthony Evans still on his feet. Once again, Joe, a gain of 6, but an amazing run. Lance Gaskin had him dead to rights in the backfield.
Lance Gaskin is 245 pounds. Anthony Edwards is 140 pounds. He took this man off, shook him off like he was not there, and still picked up 5 or 6 yards on this play.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Just a great individual effort, Craig.
Evans had 41 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Balanced running in that first half. Pierre Louis, Evans, and Morris. 2nd and 3. Handoff to Pierre Louis up the middle. Spins, gets stood up, still on his feet. Pierre Louis taking on all comers. Nyack rolling 1st and 10.
And the reason why they say this guy's going to be a star in the future is this. Once he learns how to run with forward lean, he makes that spin, he's going to make people pay. Here he comes again. He gets the ball up the middle, so a quick hitter up the middle of the field, makes the spin move to get free. Gets hit by Fisher. Fisher stands him up, but he keeps running, keeps going forward.
5'11", 200 pounds, only a sophomore. First and goal at the 10. Pierre-Louis gets the carry again. Fighting for yardage. Moves close to the 5-yard line. The Yorktown defense is doing well. They're getting off blocks through Lodwig and the crew. They just haven't been able to make the tackle.
Not only haven't been able to tackle because this guy's moving his legs, his offensive line keeps moving forward, and they're keeping the third going forward. Now, you can tackle a guy after a 7-yard pickup, and that's not a tackle. What you do, you got to tackle him at the first down. You got to win a stalemate.
Second and goal at the 7. Pierre-Louis gets 3. 9:22 and counting. Nyack up 17-12. Pierre-Louis again. This time, very little room. Gaskin makes the play, along with number 58, Semmels. So it'll be third and goal at the 5, and the wind is really picking up. Probably 20-mile-an-hour winds right now here at McCalman Field. Third and goal at the 5. Yorktown's defense has been tough in goal line situations today. Clegg back to pass, looking for Nigel Morris. Goes deep in the end zone for Leone, and just out of his reach. The towel of Pace Clegg as he throws it. Serhando on the coverage. Fourth and goal at the 5. Sean Brophy comes out for another field goal attempt. Good defense by Yorktown.
Well, Yorktown did a good job on defense, but that still was a catchable ball. Clegg put it in a spot where he could make the catch, and unfortunately he wasn't able to bring it down.
Looks like he would have been out of bounds anyway, even had he made the play.
Probably was.
That was Clegg's first incompletion of the game. In the first half, he was 4 for 4 for 56 yards. Brophy already has 1 field goal. Brophy has 2 field goals. Sean Brophy, his second field goal of the game, and it is 20-12.
Craig, what that does is just magnifies that interception right at the half. If they would have made that play, got a field goal, it would be 15-20, 5-point lead. Now they're down by 8. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in order for them to be back in the football game right now.
But on the other side, the Yorktown defense, it's the old bend but not break, right?
And see, but if you're Nyack, what you're saying to yourself, okay, we got down in this town, we were able to get it in. Change the sequence of plays, do some things differently, we'll get to the end zone. They're running the ball with the fullback very effectively. They have to get Evans involved a little bit more, do a little bit more with Nigel Morris, and they will get to the end zone again.
Yorktown about to get the ball for its first possession of this second half.
And what they want to do is they want to reestablish what they've been doing. I like how they came out of this game. I want them to start the second half the same way. If that happens, it puts Yorktown in a good situation, and it puts Nyack back on their heels.
Nyack has done a very good job of keeping the kickoffs away from Brian Serhando. Steve Serhando, who's on the far side, he has returned 2 of them, fumbled on 1. Steve Serhando, only a sophomore, certainly will follow in his brother's footsteps in the future. Morris with an end-over-end kick. This time it comes to Brian at the 10. Waits for his wedge. Now Serhando up the middle. Brian Serhando! It's a foot race. Will Morris catch him? No, he will not. Brian Serhando, touchdown, 90-yard touchdown return. Just like that, it's 20-18.
Well, we talked in the opening. Big plays by this guy. Brian Serhando can make these plays any time on the field. What he did was wait for his wedge. Once the wedge formed, he looked for a seam. Then he just ran the daylight. He has great speed, he has great abilities, and that's what he just did.
Serhando, like he was blasted out of a cannon, just shot right through the hole. I believe he was untouched, 90 yards. Now Yorktown goes for the 2-point conversion to tie. Sacamano keeps it. Sacamano surging for the end zone, but he will not make it. The Nyack defense holds. Sacamano tackled short of the goal line, 20-18. But Brian Serhando, his second touchdown of the game, had 1 on a fumble return, and this time on a kickoff return.
Brian catches the ball. He's set. He's set. He's waiting. He's waiting. There's the crack. Makes the move. And it's over right now. What's more important in this play here? Watch what happens. Separation he gets to the end zone. On the two-point play, Sacramento is tackled by that same number 5 who you see on the play there. Nigel Morris makes the play to keep the score from being tied up. That's a big play.
And that shows you a little bit about Brian Serhando's speed. Nigel Morris, one of the best athletes, one of the fastest guys in Section 1, not able to close at all. So 20-18. Nyack still in the lead. The fireworks continue here in the Section 1 Class A quarterfinal. Two old friends coaching, Coach Castellano for Nyack, Coach Stanovica for Yorktown. They've known each other for 20 years. They say they hate playing against each other because they care about each other too much. They're fans for both schools. The players for both schools certainly enjoying this game, though. 20-18 with 8:16 left in the third. Kickoff comes to Morris at the 10. Let's see what Nigel Morris can do. He makes the move to the outside and fumbles. The ball is on the ground, but it looks like Nyack has made the recovery.
And all Nigel was trying to do was just trying to make a great play, like Steve Serhando, like Brian Serhando had just done for Yorktown. Sometimes you can do too much when you have that much ability.
Don't forget, fans, there's more than just sports on Cablevision. Meet the Leaders, the program that lets you hear what your political leaders have to say. Hosted by Steve Wendell, weeknights at 7, weekends at 6 on your Cablevision local programming channel. It is your leaders talking to you about issues that matter. 1st and 10 for Nyack. Pierre Louis running hard. He gets tackled by Tim Brunell, the junior defensive tackle. That'll be a gain of 5. We are under 8 minutes left in this third quarter. The fans are standing. The fans are chilly here. The wind has picked up. It is the first night of the playoffs and the first night of fall, really, here in Rockland County. 2nd and 5. Clegg gives to Pierre Louis, but looked like there was confusion, a very long snap count, and an illegal procedure call on Nyack. Joe, we have to say, I believe that may be the 4th penalty. Once you get to the playoffs, the games are always cleaner because these teams well coached, well prepared, not too many penalties.
And mistakes will hurt you. A play like this could set you back. Instead of being 2nd and 5, now it's going to be 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Indians. 20-18, Coach Castellano riding a 21-game winning streak. Pierre Louis rumbling for about 7, so it'll be 3rd and 3. And Joe, Pierre Louis has really been the go-to guy in the second half.
He's been the go-to guy because they're establishing their fullback. They still have the other weapons out there, so you have to respect him. But Nyack, what they do is they run the ball effectively with 3 people, not just 1.
6:45 and counting. 3rd and 3 at the Nyack 40. Yorktown's defense has been very tough on these short yardage plays. Clegg on the option to the near side. Pitches to Morris. Morris cuts back and gets nailed by Sean Matranti. Drew Lodwick made the play come inside, and then Matranti nailed Nigel Morris. Punting situation.
Backside pursuit's got to make that play all the time. They made a good time. Sean Matranti did a great job coming from the inside to fill that play because Morris was trying to cut back to get the first down. Play comes out, looking the option off Lodwick. He does, but then here comes the pursuit. Solomon's there first, and there's Mr. Matranti coming from the inside. Does a nice job.
Clegg back to punt. Beware, Brian Serhando is back to receive. The short kick bounces to Serhando, and he fumbles the football. Ball is still loose. Looks like Yorktown may have it, and they do. Brian Serhando, the ball bounced. He had to have looked up. He had 6 red shirts right in his face, fumbled the football, but Yorktown escaped with a recovery.
That would have been another turnover, and that would have been a big play. He sees it, the ball hits him off his hits off his head, and he's not watching the ball into his hand.
Andre Nelson, the flanker, defensive back, comes in and makes the play.
That could have been disastrous.
Instead, it's a 1st and 10 at the 20 for Yorktown. Sacamano back to pass. Has time, finds Brian Fisher. Gain of 13, 1st down Yorktown. That was the same play they ran the first play of the game.
Well, and the first time they ran an out, this was an in. This will keep the Nyack defense honest. They can pass the ball.
Sacamano was 3 for 5 for 36 yards and that 1 interception in the first half. Now 1 for 1 in the second. 1st and 10 for Yorktown. Lodwick goes inside, absolutely nowhere to go. Nice tackle by the senior 5'11", 220-pound Nick Braga.
So it's got to establish a run with O'Sullivan or Lodwick if they're going to be able to run the ball. Because Steve and Brian Serhando can get outside and run the ball for him, but they need to establish an inside run.
Brian Serhando, 5 carries, 49 yards in that first half. Let's not forget, he's averaging over 14 yards a carry leading Section 1. Sacamano back to pass, looking for Fisher again. This time, Fisher unable to make the play. Pierre Louis on the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Ball's a little behind, but Brian's got to make that play. He's made tougher catches than that tonight.
Incomplete. 3rd and 11.
Here is Sacramento, puts the ball a little bit behind him, hits him right in the hands, though. You get hit in the hands, you got to make that hand. He's like Allstate, got to be good hands.
3rd and 11. 4:45 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Yorktown down by 2. Lodwick in motion. Serhando gets the ball. Serhando going to the far side, cuts inside. Absolutely nowhere to go. Number 54, David Bernadette, the 6', 215-pound senior, led a charge of 6 Indians. 4th down, John O'Sullivan will have to punt.
Craig, we got the ball game we wanted. 2 teams playing very hard, playing with all their heart on defense, and offensively, they're doing good things, but they're just not making big plays.
O'Sullivan back to punt. Nigel Morris and Anthony Evans back to receive for Nyack. Ball comes to Evans. Great special teams tackle. That was DePola, number 47. Nick DePola, the sophomore. Evans only gained 4 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 Nyack. Very quickly, Joe, when you were playing in a playoff game, did you think about the fact that, oh my God, if we lose, our season's over, or do you just focus on the game?
No, you focus on what you can control. Right now on offense, Nyack's got to come out and reestablish himself on offense. Can't worry about anything else. Can't worry about defense. Just offense right now. If you're Yorktown on defense, stop these guys. 3 and out, get the ball back, and let's get an offensive drive going.
Pierre Louis has shouldered most of the load in the second half. You have to wonder if they're setting it up for Morris and Evans. Pierre Louis again. Positive yardage, gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Now, from Yorktown's standpoint, they've allowed them to do this. Now him to establish that. They haven't given up the big play, but if they keep doing that, and they keep able to roam their fullback like that, it's going to take them down the field.
The clock ticking away in this 3rd quarter. Brian Serhando, he has a touchdown on defense. He has a touchdown on special teams.
And a touchdown on defense.
Yes, indeed. 2nd and 2. Evans in motion. Pierre Louis again. Gains 5. The chains move. 1st down, Yorktown.
I can see Coach Sanovic being upset about that because they're running the ball in the middle of the field, right at the people he's substituting in for.
Juden Pierre-Louis, only a sophomore. 5'11", 200 pounds, had no varsity experience before this year. He is playing big in a big game. This time Anthony Evans gets the ball. Running towards the far side. Gain of a couple. Brian Serhando with the tackle. Say one thing for Yorktown. Pierre-Louis is getting his yards, but Morris and Evans have been pretty much stifled thus far.
And they've done a good job of that, and they've controlled that part of the game. They're giving the yards inside, but not to the guys on the outside.
Juden Pierre-Louis with 64 yards this half alone in 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Clegg was looking for Rafael De La Cruz, but we have a penalty flag before the play. The dead ball offside, so that'll be a first down.
Encroachment number 25 White. 5 yards, second down.
Well, if you're Yorktown, that's a bad play. Now it's 2nd and 2, as opposed to being 2nd and 7.
So 2nd and 2 now for Nyack. 2:35 and counting. Coach Castellano and Coach Sanovica. Wearing shorts, looking like football coaches, feeling like football coaches right now.
I don't think Coach Sanovica ever leaves the field.
That is true. Clegg back to pass. He's under pressure, and he is sacked. Dan Gilson in with the sack. That's a loss of 5. It will be 3rd and 8.
Two things happen here. You get a coverage problem that is a coverage sack because they had good coverage. Second is Clegg's got to get rid of the ball. He holds the ball too long. His offensive lineman cannot be forced to hold somebody out that long. Defensive players have to make plays too.
Gilson in 2nd sack of the game. Another big 3rd down for Nyack. 3rd and 7 at the 45. They need to make the 38 for a first down. Inside reverse to Nigel Morris. Morris moves to the outside. Now back to the inside. First down. Nyack, Nigel Morris with an electrifying 17-yard run.
Well, we talked about it, Craig, that they've been doing a good job on these two guys. Evans hands off to Nigel Morris. Nigel Morris goes out and makes a great play. Unfortunately, he may be cramping up a little bit here, or he hurt his hand.
Morris cramped up in the first game we did against Suffern. Looks like he may have another cramp.
This is, it shows what a great player is. The opposing coach comes out to check on this great player. Here it is. Evans hands in the ball, gets inside. Makes one move, makes another move, breaks another tackle, gets outside of Fisher. There's Nelson missing a tackle. And there he is, Brian Serhando making a tackle. He does it all.
I've been impressed, Joe, both teams. A, how hard they come to tackle, and B, the running backs, they don't just go down. Whether it's Nigel Morris, whether it's Pierre-Louis, whether it's Serhando, O'Sullivan, they all try to take the tackler on. That's so important.
It's very important because what you have to do is you have to create yards after the initial contact. If you're able to do that, it makes your offense that much better.
Nigel Morris still down, working on his left leg. Looks like he may have a cramp, and he gets up and jogs off the field. No problem there. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. 1:28 remaining in this 3rd quarter. 20-18. Nyack in the lead over Yorktown. 1st and 10 after the inside reverse by Morris. Ball at the 29 of Yorktown. Pierre-Louis. Absolutely nowhere to go. Sean Matranti with another big play. Maybe a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Morris was replaced in the lineup by number 24, Willis Freeman, the 5'5", 150-pound sophomore.
Well, not having him in the game will take away some of that potent offense that you thought about, but it's more important to keep him healthy.
2nd and 11. Clegg back to pass. Looking for Will Leone, and the pass almost intercepted by Sean Matrani. He stepped right in front of Leone, unable to see it into his hands. Nonetheless, 3rd and 11.
Matrani did a great job getting out. He just got to make the interception. But the reason why he doesn't play offense is he probably can't catch, and that's why they play linebacker. Now, if he was a fullback, he would have caught that ball. Clegg gets outside, telegraphs the pass to Leone, and Matrani's right there, has a chance to make a play. And I watched, he would have made that play and took it down the other end.
It's amazing, whether it's college, even the NFL, how often you see linebackers, defensive ends, miss interception. 3rd and 11. Clegg with the handoff to Willis. First down, Nyack. The sophomore comes through with a 13-yard run right up the gut.
What that shows you about Coach Cass is this right here. You replace the players, and they still do the exact same things you want. He's replacing Nigel Morris. And Will Freeman just takes the ball inside, gets the block inside. He's running hard the same way the guys who came before him did.
1st and 10, the sophomore in the game for 3 plays makes the difference.
And all that does is build depth. Another player to worry about.
That will be it for the 3rd quarter. And the suspense continues. It was a 5-point game after 1 half. It is now a 2-point game. 12 minutes to go. One team will move on. One team will go home. It's the Section 1 quarterfinals. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this.
Have some fun. Neighborhood Journal gives you a backstage pass to all the action in your area, from community events to festivals to what's happening.
Hi, I'm Kathleen McNenny. Join me as Neighborhood Journal visits the many interesting and unique people, places, and happenings in the Hudson Valley. Catch us on your cable's local programming channel as we explore the vast diversity of our communities. Only on Cablevision Local Programming, TV that's close to home.
Right there, bam. 5 and into the end zone. 95-yard touchdown reception to the 15-10. Robinson leading the way to the 5 touchdown. Going up the middle is going to be easily picked off. And he'll hammer down the sideline. Flag is flying. For the touchdown he did. What a way to start this game.
Catch it on Cablevision Local Programming, TV that's close to home.
We are back getting ready for the 4th quarter here at McCalman Field in Nyack, New York. It has been a great game. Nyack in the lead 2018. Craig Thomas, Joe Morris, the Cablevision cast of thousands with you. Joe, playoff football. Hey, I mean, this is fantastic.
We talked about it in the open. This has been a great game. I love the way Yorktown come out and face this team. And hopefully, they can keep my end zone here and make the game even closer.
Nyack with a 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. The Indians dominated play in the 3rd quarter, but thanks to Brian Serhando's 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, what was a 5-point deficit is now only a 2-point deficit. 1st and 10. Pierre Louis breaks the tackle, then gets stood up. Nice job by Brian Serhando. Gain of a couple. Pierre Louis, very tough to bring down. It'll be 2nd and 7.
But what's happening, if Randall's making this play, they can pass the ball with play action. But a great tackle for Brian Serhando, and the rest of the guys get there to help him out.
Look at that, though. Pierre Louis just will not go down. You think both these teams don't want to move on?
Oh, they definitely do. Unfortunately, only one will.
2nd and 6. Clegg with the screen pass to Evans. Evans tries to cut inside. Nice spin move by Anthony Evans. Tackled by Brian Fisher.
But you can't coach that. That's just great ability. It makes the catch, gets away from Ludwig, and gets down.
Very close to a first down. We may have a measurement, and we will. Referee Dave Keller calls for the measurement. Now, Joe, for most of these guys on Yorktown's team, they didn't play in the playoffs last year, as we talked about for so many guys on Nyack. Many of the juniors played last year, but some of these sophomores, Pierre Louis, Gallant, this is the biggest game of their lives.
Sure it is, and I think that what you have to understand is, even though Yorktown didn't play last year, they have a coach who's experienced. He's got them prepared. He knows exactly what he has to do to win this game. He's got to use Brian Serhende as his weapon. From the Nyack side, some of these guys have experience from last year. They haven't played a game like this, but here's the thing. They've been around this program and know what to expect from Coach Gass.
It'll be 3rd and inches. Under a yard to go for a first down. Nigel Morris still out of the game. The sophomore Willis Freeman taking his place.
Nigel is ready to go. The coach is just keeping him out.
Referee Keller puts it in. 3rd and inches. Pierre Louis pulls his way to a first down. So it'll be 1st and goal Nyack. Nyack had 1st and goal in the 3rd quarter. Yorktown managed to keep him out to a field goal.
Well, they did a good job then. They're going to have to do it now. But, Morris is back in the game now. They're going to do some different things now. He adds another weapon to that arsenal that Nyack brings to the table.
10 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. Nyack looking to build on a 2-point lead. As Joe said, Nigel Morris back in the backfield. Ball goes to Pierre Louis, and this time absolutely no daylight. He loses a few yards. Greg Semmels again with a nice play.
Well, what Coach Stanovic has done is brought his goal line defense into the game. More big bodies up front. Doesn't have the pass coverage people that he had before, but he has more big bodies up front, which will stop the run on the line of scrimmage. They're conceding the pass by saying, we're going to stop you running the ball. Let's see you throw it over our heads.
2nd and goal. Pierre Louis driving towards the end zone. Gang tackling by Yorktown. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Well, you got a surge this time by the offensive line. Running behind
the left side of that line.
Randy Montessier just blew that side of the line up the scrimmage and ran right behind him. Line gets started, and Pierre Louis just finds the hole and gets up in there. Look at the great block by Anthony Evans. Guy weighs 140 pounds, laying his body in the line for his teammates.
Same can be said for Brian Serhando making the tackle. He weighs only $170. Pierre Louis 200. Now a huge play. 3rd and goal from the 3. Handoff right up the middle to Pierre Louis, and he fumbles the football. Nyack with the recovery.
And that man makes another play.
Nyack recovers. It will be 4th down. Nigel Morris with the recovery. Always in the right place at the right time.
He's a special player. Good instinct. Here we go. Comes inside. He's trying to twist and turn. Ball pops out, and there's Nigel Morris to make the recovery.
This the biggest play of the game to this point. 4th and goal at the 1. The fans are on their feet here at McCalman Field. Clegg keeps it. Goes for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Nyack. John O'Sullivan tried to make a tackle, but Clegg gets in for the touchdown.
And all that was set up by the fact that Pierre Louis was able to run inside. The commitment was there from the defensive line standpoint. The strong safety had to come up and make the tackle on Clegg. He could have pitched the ball out, and they still would have gotten the end zone. But that was all set up by the fact they were running the fullback very heavily into the line, and they couldn't stop him.
Eric Clegg scores on the 1-yard keeper. It is now an 8-point game. A huge extra point here for Brophy. If he makes it, it becomes a 2-possession game. The snap is good, and the kick hits the post and goes through. A bank shot by Sean Brophy. His third extra point of the game, and it's now a 27-18 game.
Kickings do make it very interesting. Coach Cass, heart probably skipped a beat there, but it dropped down through. Here's the run. They come inside, they try to make the tackle on him. Some thinks he gets outside just too late. Clegg's already in the end zone.
So now Nyack with a 9-point lead for Yorktown. A very, very tough position.
Well, let me just say this to you. Last time we had this play, and we were worried about Yorktown being out of the game, what did that young man down there, number 30, do for Yorktown? 90 yards sitting in to the house.
You have to wonder if Nyack will kick it to Sorhando again.
Now, Craig, what person in the right mind would do that again? This is a pooch. If I'm coaching, I'm pooching it.
That play, vintage Nyack football. 15 plays, a 15-play drive in high school football. You never see that. 8 up, 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
Precious time that Yorktown still needs. They have a game breaker. You keep the ball out of his hands, you can't make big plays.
Sorhando is back in the middle. Steve Sorhando is back with him on the near side. Drew Lodwick on the far side. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. The Class A quarterfinals. Nyack, the number 2 seed, undefeated, 6-0. Yorktown, the number 7 seed.
Well, when you take Nigel Morris out as a kicker, and you put Sean Brofer in, that means you may be doing something a little different with your kickoff thing.
Brophy with the low end over end. Does not come to Sorhando. Still a very nice run back by the backup fullback, Matt Cardillo. A penalty flag comes in very late, but Cardillo doesn't usually get to return kicks. He did a good job there. Decent field position, but we have to wait and see about the flag. It will be even better field position.
Number 25 red, 5 yards, first down.
After the face mask penalty. 1st and 10. And the amazing thing about football, right now it's a 9-point game. In this half, time of possession, Nyack 13 minutes 25 seconds, Yorktown 1 minute 49 seconds. But when you have Brian Sorhando, I guess you don't need the ball that long.
You don't, because you can score anywhere on the field.
1st and 10 for the Huskers. They are down 9. Sorhando in motion, he gets the ball. Dives forward, a gain of 5.
Looked like a play called at the line of scrimmage because he took a lot of time to get that play set. Hoping to get a big play. And unfortunately, Brian can only get inside.
The Nyack fans, they are accustomed to winning here. As we told you before, they have not lost since 1999, but this Yorktown team is certainly giving a great performance. 2nd and 6. Handoff goes inside. Sorhando fumbles the football, and Nyack recovers, but the referee says he was down. The referee calls him down.
I wish we could see a replay of that.
Sorhando looks like he lost a shoe on that play. It'll be 3rd down and a yard.
3rd and about.
Here we go. We're going to see what happens to Brian here. Brian cuts back against the grain, comes in, ball's out there. He's not down.
Ted Renee with the hit. Nigel Morris with the recovery. 3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak for the 1st down, and this will be close. Great surge by the defensive line. Will Leone, Gernadise, DJ Jemison. Well, let's take another look at this fumble, or not fumble, first.
Well, what happens here, his knees are down when this happens. But, unfortunately, the whistle's not been blown. The ball's out. That's a fumble. Should be Nyack football.
Instead, the quarterback sneak gets the first down, so it is 1st and 10. Yorktown at the 48, under 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Sacramento keeps it on the option. Nyack defense starting to put a lick on the Yorktown players.
Rafael De La Cruz coming up from his corner position.
Morris helped out, but De La Cruz comes up and lays the smack on Sacramento. He picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Yorktown and Nyack, 2 of the best in Section 1 year in, year out, in a great first-round playoff game. Sacramento gives to Sorhando. Sorhando breaks tackles, but that play really ended before it started. Nick Braga got a piece of him in the backfield, and then Anthony Evans and the rest of the Indians came through.
And what they're doing is containing this young man. They can't let him get outside and make big plays against him. They've got to make sure tackles, keep him in front of them.
3rd and 8, under 6 minutes to go. You have to think that it's 4-down territory for Yorktown.
It could be, depending on what they get this time.
They are down by 2 scores. Sacramento sprints to the near side. Looks for a receiver. The pass almost intercepted by Rafael De La Cruz. He was looking for Fisher, and there is a penalty flag on the play.
Correct, this could be a chop block.
It is a hold.
73 white on the hold.
Referee Keller calls a holding penalty. It'll be interesting to see if Nyack takes it. If they don't, it'll be 4th down.
Well, Sacramento gets outside. De La Cruz jumps up, almost makes a great interception. Unfortunately, he's wiped out because it was a hold.
So Nyack, assuming that Yorktown is obviously going to go for it on 4th down, they move him back another 8 yards. So basically, 3rd and 18, but it's really 2 downs to get 18 yards.
Exactly, and what you have to do in a situation, you have to get 7 or 8 of it back. Then you got to make a big play on 4th down.
5 minutes, 33 seconds remaining. Brian Sorhando lined up in the slot to the far side. Sacramento back to pass. Looks for Drew Lodwick. He gained 7 before he is tackled by David Dernadis.
Did exactly what they wanted to do. Sorhando is the person that's causing all the ruckus. So what they do is they throw back to Drew Lodwick and makes a great catch, picks up 7 yards. Now it's 4th down and 11. Sacramento gets back, finds Lodwick, he's wide open. And there the linebackers coming in to make the play.
Dernadis and Pierre Louis make the play. 4th and 12. 4 minutes, 59 seconds remaining. Sacramento looks for Fisher, and he has the 1st down. Great throw, great catch, 1st down Yorktown.
Great call. Coach Baker has his team ready to play tonight, and they're trying to make a statement tonight. They're saying, we're here, and we're going to keep fighting y'all all night long. Gets back, runs a good route. It's zone defense. He sits down in the middle of the zone, and there it is. Makes a great catch.
That is a perfect pass, just over the outstretched arms of Pierre Louis, right to Fisher. New life for Yorktown, 1st and 10 at the 31. Hand off to Cardillo, and Cardillo has some room. Matt Cardillo with another 1st down.
What they're been able to do is this. They're starting to do things that are causing some problems in the defense for Nyack. Nyack's seeing a different look every time from this thing, using different players to attack.
4:31 remaining in this game. Brian Fisher with 4 receptions for 59 yards after that 4th down play. We'll actually have a measurement to see if in fact it was a 1st down. And it is. 1st down, Yorktown. A really well-played game by both teams.
Yes, it has been. It's been a well-played game because Yorktown has fought Nyack all night long. People who thought they were going to tune in to see a blowout, not going to happen tonight.
The clock is running. Yorktown needs 2 scores, but first things first. 1st and 10 at the 20. Serhando and Lodwick are behind Sacamano. Now Serhando's in motion. Sacamano keeps it on the option to the far side.
Flag down on the play, though.
Now 2 flags down on the play. Sacamano picks up 8 yards, but that will come back.
This is a great quarterback who can make some great plays. Unfortunately, had a throw in that play, but that was a good-looking play that go in there.
We got a hold on number 73 White.
Holding penalty on Yorktown. That will bring back the run.
Lance Gaskin just called for the hold here, and I'm trying to figure out where it came.
Sacamano, really great competitor. Yes, he's shown a good arm, and he has done well with his legs as well. Now he's talking to Coach Santavica, and you're right, Joe. Coach Santavica is actually on the field for the entire game. He never goes off the field. He goes out almost into the huddle. It's amazing.
It's amazing that this goes on, but hey, I understand it.
So the penalty moves them back. 1st and 15.
No, it's only 1st and 5 because they took their legal procedure penalty first. They didn't take...
Hold on. All right, so they had 2 penalties, illegal procedure before the play, so it's 1st and 15. Sacamano back to pass. He's under pressure. Rolling to the far side. Ted Renee closing in. Sacamano throws it away.
And that's what you have to do when you're a senior quarterback. You can't take a sack because you put your team in a bad situation. Instead of being 3rd and 15, it would have been 3rd and 25.
The big man, Ted Renee, all 260 pounds of him, was bearing down on little Mr. Sacamano.
And they're bringing pressure this time. Leone's coming from the outside, Renee from the inside. They're coming after him. Sacamano sees no receivers, gets rid of the ball. Smart play by a smart senior quarterback.
2nd and 15 at the 25. Under 4 minutes remaining. Serhando going to the far side, looking for running room. Gets about 7. It will be 3rd and 8. Brian Serhando. There you see again Coach Santavica. Looks like a football coach.
Is a football coach.
That was a gain of 8, so it's 3rd and 7 once again. Joe, obviously 4-down territory.
Definitely 4-down territory.
Coach Castellano has been through this for 14 years. Right up the gut. Nice tackle by Judin Pierre-Louis. That was a gain of only 3 yards. 2 yards. It will be 4th down and 6. Timeout by Yorktown. They need to get to the 10-yard line for a first down.
Like you used to timeout. Let's come out and explain to the young men what they have to do to make this play. This is going to be the play of the game here. If they can make this play, they're going to be in this ball game to the end. And with their handle being available to them, they always have a chance to come back and get that second score. But they've got to get this first down or get a touchdown on this play so they can get back into this game. Right now they're down by 9. If they can make a play here, pick up this first down and keep this drive going, get a touchdown, get a field goal, they'll be in position to win this ball game. He wants to make sure they clearly understand what's going on. They played a well of a ball game, and they don't want to leave anything to chance.
Fans, don't forget, more than just sports on Cablevision, you can check out Neighborhood Journal. It's the show that brings your neighborhood to you. Stories about people in your communities, weeknights at 7:30, weekends at 6:30. It's all on your Cablevision local programming channel. There you see Coach Castellano telling his troops, this is the play. 4th down and 6, if you stop them, you got it.
Great timeout for Yorktown, but from the same standpoint, you got Coach Castellano who comes out and tells his players exactly what they have to do. Now, 2 motivators have got to get their players ready to go. 2 friends who like to compete against each other are getting their troops ready to go. This is going to be a great play.
4th and 6, 3 minutes, 1 second remaining. Yorktown down by 9. Serhando is the wing back to the near side. Sacamano back to pass. He's under pressure. The pass is caught for a first down. No, it's incomplete. Brian Fisher unable to make the play. The Nyack defense holds.
Well, what happened on this play, they got some pressure on Sacamano for a change. The ball was underthrown. Hit the ground before it got to Fisher. Sacamano gets out. Here comes the pressure. He throws the ball. It's tipped.
Yes, the pass is tipped by number 51.
And he dropped it. And Fisher dropped it to the ground before he caught it.
But Bradley Gallen with the tip. He's the guy we talked about. Wasn't even playing the first game of the season, has done so well. Now he's a starter with a huge tip.
Great play.
In this 4th quarter. So now, Nyack, 1st and 10. Pierre Louis. He rumbles for about 6. It will be 2nd and 4. Time now becomes the friend of the Indians and the enemy of the Huskies.
Well, what you got to do now is tackle, get them down quickly, and start using your timeouts judiciously. You need a big stop and then a timeout. Then that gives you more time on the clock.
Also, Joe, I guess you have to try to rip the ball here.
Yeah, you got to start taking the ball, and what's happened is Pierre Louis has fumbled the ball, but Nigel Morrison's there to pick it up, down on the goal line. But the clock running down to 2 minutes, you got to make a stop here.
Pierre Louis again. He gains 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. We are under 2 minutes to go. The clock continues to roll. Nyack with a 9-point lead.
I think you needed a timeout there, Craig. I really think you needed a timeout right there. Because what they'll do now is wait till, even if they stop him, they'll let the clock run down as they punt the ball to take more time off the clock.
Third and 2. Sneak. Short of the first down, it appears.
But the clock just keeps running.
The clock stops now while they try to mark the ball, and it is a first down. That just about does it. The quarterback sneak by Clegg makes the first down. So now, 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining. Coach Castellano, his winning streak appears to be intact. He takes off the headset. Now the Indians will just run out the clock. Pierre Louis again, making sure not to fumble. So, what can you say about Yorktown, the effort that they gave today?
They gave a consistent, strong effort all game long. They made too many turnovers and too many mistakes to win the ball game, but they were in it at all times. Brian Serhando scares everybody in Section 1. This guy made big plays upon big plays. It's really Nyack 27, Brian Serhando 18.
The Indians will just down the ball one last time. And that does it. Goal number 1 for Nyack was to win the league title. They did it. Goal number 2 is to defend their section title. And they took their first step towards doing that. It is a final at McCalman Field. Nyack 27, Yorktown 18. We will be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Cablevision Sports.
Hello, I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudon. Back in the year 2001, my human predecessors installed LightPath voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudon is able to dominate the market. Thanks, LightPath.
Rockland Community College has been a wonderful stepping stone for my future. The clubs, the professors, the different activities, the classes have really turned me on.
And the whole entire experience has just been wonderful.
Rockland Community College helped me establish my goals and give me a sense of direction.
That I literally have an entire world open to me for whatever it is I choose to do when I transfer.
If you have any dreams or aspirations, you can do anything you want here.
Call 1-800-RCC-SOON.
It was a thrilling Section 1 Class A quarterfinals, and the final score, Nyack over Yorktown, 27-18. The Nyack Indians, the defending state champs, goal number 1 was to win the league title. They did that. Goal number 2 is to repeat as section champions, and they took their first step on the road to doing this. I am joined by their head coach, John Castellano, and by the player of the game, Nigel Morris. We'll talk to Nigel first. Nigel, we were just talking. You guys haven't really been behind in the last 2 years. What was it like? You guys are down 12-0 after only a few minutes, but you didn't panic.
Nah, we had to come out and play hard. Our offensive line blocked well. Started running. Played good defense. That's what we had to do.
Last year, you were one of the players, but a young player. Now, you, Anthony Evans, players that have been here for a year, are now the leaders of this team. What do you tell your teammates heading into the playoffs?
Play well. Don't be nervous at all. And everybody play good.
And is it exciting, because so often you guys are not in close games, to play a tough game like this where it's not really decided till the last couple minutes?
Yeah, I love close games like that. A lot of excitement.
All right, well, congratulations to Nigel. You move on, and now we bring in Coach Castellano. And, Coach, you told us, finally, an exciting game here on Cablevision.
Yeah, it was a good, exciting game. You know, Ronnie Senebeck is just a great football coach. I mean, he brought those kids in here. They were fired up. They played very, very well. They gave us all we could handle. I was excited with our kids being down 12-0. You know, I didn't know which way we were going to go, and to turn around and take over the football game there in the end of the first quarter and the second quarter excited me very much.
When you're down 12-0, are you nervous?
You know, not at that point, because we hadn't really gotten into our offense yet. We had only run 3 plays. I knew we had some things that could hurt them. We had some good speed. If we get the speed going and we could pound it inside, I thought we'd be all right. So I knew it was still early and we had a shot. Had we stalled a little bit, then I would have got a little nervous.
Now, the key to the game in the second half, we were doing time of possession. I think they only had the ball for maybe 4 or 5 minutes the entire second half. You guys just kept the ball all the time.
Yeah, we thought that was critical. We needed to keep their defense on the field and just try to go on long drives, 12, 13, 14 play drives. So we thought, the time of possession was critical for us. I thought another key to the game, and you might have brought it out, was, after they went up 12-0, we took that next kickoff and went down the field and scored and got right back in the game. So, yeah, controlling the ball is always critical for us. So we were excited about that.
And finally, you talked about your second goal being defending your section title. This is step 1. You obviously have 2 more steps to go. What happens in practice this week?
Well, we keep pressing on. This was a situation where I personally, knowing Ronnie the way I do and knowing how well he coaches, I thought this was one of the toughest quarterfinal games we can get. When we got the matchups last week, we knew that this was going to be a tough road for us to go through Yorktown, and then we had to play the Poughkeepsie Brewster winner. Poughkeepsie's the real deal. They got a great football team, and I don't know who won that football game tonight, but either team coming down here next week is going to be tough. So, we just got to press on and keep working hard.
Well, thank you very much. Again, congratulations to Coach and congratulations to Nigel. Another win in the books for the Nyack Indians. Joe and I will be back to wrap things up right after this.
I'm principal of a new kind of public school. It's open up to 15 hours a day, year-round. It has loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. We have medical and dental services right here. Our teachers have more time to teach. Our students are better prepared to learn. There's just one problem. We can't get the kids to go home.
Find out how your school can be more like this one. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
Right there, bam. 5 and into the end zone. 95-yard touchdown return to the 15-10. Robinson leading the way to the 5. Touchdown. Going up the middle is going to be easily picked off. And he'll scamper down the sideline. Chases down. Flag is flying. Looking for the touchdown. He did. What a way to start this game.
Catch it on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
The Nyack Indians win again. Their 22nd win in a row. The final score, Nyack 27, Yorktown 18. Hello again, everybody. I'm Craig Thomas. Here to wrap things up with my man Joe Morris, and it was a great game. Both teams played inspired football. Joe, we talked about it at the top. Playoff football is a little different, and it was.
It was, and I think that Yorktown came out and played the best game they played all this year. They went out and did the things they needed to do on offense and defense. They played a great game against a great Nyack team, and they just came up short. Didn't have enough time, and they didn't make enough plays at the end of the game.
We can take a look at the highlights of this game, and it was an action-packed first quarter for Yorktown. Yorktown got on the board first with their first drive, Matt Sacamano capping it off, and then Nyack gets the ball for their first time, and Brian Serhando scores on defense.
What he does here is Clegg makes a pitch. Ball hits off Evans, and here's Serhando picking the ball up and taking the ball to the end zone. This young man has done a great job. He made a lot of tackles tonight. He did a great job all night for Yorktown, and they were ready to play this time.
As Coach Castellano said, he didn't know which way his team was going to go. Down 12-0. They haven't been down 12-0 in 2 years. But that very next drive, they came down, scored a touchdown by Anthony Evans to make it 12-7. Then after a fumble on the ensuing kickoff, Juden Pierre-Louis, who was the leading rusher on the game, with the touchdown.
Breaks to the line of scrimmage here, and all he does is just put his head down and keeps running. Makes a good move here to fake out a safety, then he's in the end zone. You know, O'Sullivan misses him here. Coach Castellano knew what was going to happen. He knew his guys were going to stay in the game. He's the type of coach that instills that in his players. Just like Coach Sandovica was doing a good job for Yorktown, Coach Castellano was doing a great job for his team tonight. Keeping them in the ball game, even though it was a tight game.
17-12 at halftime. Sean Brophy kicked 2 field goals, made it a 20-12 game, but then Brian Serhando, again, his big playability brought this game back up in an electrifying play.
Big plays are a part of his game. What he does, he catches the kickoff here, sets himself, waits for the hole to break, and when he breaks this thing, it's over. No one on the field is going to catch him. He runs to the end zone untouched. That is a great player. He makes big plays, and tonight, Nyack was able to control him most of the game.
So Serhando's second touchdown made it a 2-point game, so it was 20-18, but then Nyack went on one of their really signature drives. 15 plays, took over 7 minutes, and finally, Eric Clegg caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown run.
This was set up by all the great running by Pierre-Louis inside, and Eric Clegg got outside. There was no one there for him but the strong safety after he was in the end zone. But when you run the ball the way they did with their fullback, with Pierre-Louis running the ball the way he did, it makes people stay home on the defense, and therefore the quarterback's available out on the outside to run the option and get the ball in the end zone.
We can take a look at the final stats, and Nyack's defense is really the story that doesn't get too much attention. In the second half, Yorktown's offense really did absolutely nothing. Yorktown's defense was on the field for most of that game.
Yeah, and the only time they made a play was on the, kickoff return for a touchdown. Nyack did a great job on defense, kept them out of the end zone, and made this game about what their will, and their defense was able to control the game.
Finally, Joe, as we talked about it, these were 2 great teams, 2 great coaches, 2 good friends, and we were hoping that it would be a great game. Would you say this was a great game?
This was a great game because Coach Ron Sandovica did a great job. He wanted this to be a testament to a friendship, and he brought his players out, and they did that. He used some of his offensive players on defense. He was shuffling people in and out. He was trying to do things. Matt Sandovica was making tackles on kickoff. Put your starting quarterback out there to make tackles on kickoff. You want to win a ball game if you're doing that kind of thing.
So a great game, great effort by Yorktown, but Nyack continues its roll. They are still undefeated, now moved to 7-0, and they will get another shot at the semifinals next week. In 2 weeks, if they make it, a chance to, again, become the Section 1 Class A champions. So that just about does it for here. Don't forget that next week we'll have more action, and you can catch all of Section 1 action every week on the Sports Scene. It's the place to watch, the place to see highlights, features, anything you want. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on your local programming channels. Channel 70 in Northern Westchester, Channel 70 here in Rockland. And the next game, next week, the playoffs continue here on Cablevision. The game of the week will be Saturday and Sunday at 7 o'clock, all on your local programming channel. But that just about does it for here. From Joe Morris, this is Craig Thomas. We thank you very much. The final score in a thriller, Nyack 27, Yorktown 18. We will be back with you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
I'm principal of a new kind of public school. It's open up to 15 hours a day, year-round. It has loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. We have medical and dental services right here. Our teachers have more time to teach. Our students are better prepared to learn. There's just one problem. We can't get the kids to go home.
Find out how your school can be more like this one. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
Great hit, bam. 5 and into the end zone. 95-yard touchdown return to the 15-10. Robinson leading the way to the 5, touchdown. Going up the middle is going to be easily picked off. And he'll scamper down the sideline, leads it down. Flag is flying. Looking for the touchdown, he did. What a way to start this game.
Catch it on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
yesterday.